Even though Halloween's coming, even though there's a lot of shit happening, everyone's busy, there's always some breaking news! All right, the very first thing I want to dive right into is I want to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. So Five Nights at Freddy's came out, and it blew everybody away. $80 million opening weekend domestically, $130.6 million globally at a $20 million budget. That's a huge win for a direct release to Peacock and also theaters at the same time. It actually tied Black Widow, which was at this time the #1 direct streaming and going to theaters at the same time. It tied that with $80 million domestically. Huge win for this. They didn't expect this, Blumhouse, and it was a big win for them. And honestly, I saw it. I wasn't a big fan, but I know there's a huge following behind it, and that makes me excited for Blumhouse because they are pushing this forward. Also the second largest of all time for a video game adaptation that came out too for a release. Huge. Biggest opening of the year for a horror film, overtaking Scream 6, and also the highest grossing opening weekend for Blumhouse in general. So it was a big win for this and for Peacock. So if you haven't seen it yet, apparently a lot of people saw it. It's time for you to check it out because it is the Halloween season. And with the Halloween season, everyone's going to be out trick-or-treating. And there's a trick-or-treat 2 coming, everybody. If you haven't heard about this, they've been trying to do this for a long time. It's been active development forever. But now it's finally moving forward. I mean, the first one came out in 2007. And now they said they're going to introduce a brand new nemesis for Sam in the next one, made by Legendary. And the creator was talking about this, Michael Dougherty, and he was talking about how they've been trying to do it, and he wants to make it a whole cinematic universe. Again, everybody with the cinematic universes, it drives me nuts sometimes. Do we need that? I mean, he's like, and they're talking about this one, it's been so long, I said 2007 till now, and he's like, well, people are asking him, are the original cast gonna be back? What's gonna be happening? Are any of the characters gonna be back? And he goes, I've always had as my idea that they would be new characters coming in, a whole new plot line for every sequel, and everyone would be a standalone film. Well, at this point, it's a brand new film as it is. So if you're excited about this franchise, if you like it, you wanna see more trick or treat, you're getting more. And it took a long time to get this, but it also took a long time to get Hocus Pocus 2, but we have Hocus Pocus 2, and now we have Hocus Pocus 3 coming. And we talked about this very briefly before, but Hocus Pocus 3 has been moving forward. They announced it before the writer's strike, and now because the writers are back to work, they're actively working on the script, and the idea is to focus on the Mother Witch. The Mother Witch by Hannah Waddington. She's apparently going to come back and she'll have a big focal point for the whole plot moving forward. Of course, all the Sanderson sisters are back. They're gonna cause some chaos in Salem. And for any fans of this, they're probably excited. Of course, it's going directly to Disney Plus. It worked so well the last time. They're super excited to bring this franchise back to life for a third one. And I mean, there's a long time in between the same thing. And it did so well, everybody. It's very exciting for them. It did so well, just like Britney Spears' memoir did so well, that they're doing a sequel to that too. Well, Britney's doing a second part, apparently. So Disney, or Britney put it out there. She's like, the memoir part 2 is coming next year, everybody. It's coming next year. Volume 2 will be released next year. And get ready, she said, because she should. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
I need to read part 1 to see where it leaves off at.
I was like, I believe the sequel. I'm like, continue.
I mean, yeah, everybody wants a sequel to everything. Thank you, Count Dracula out in the chat. I appreciate you. But if you haven't seen this yet or haven't read it, the audiobook version, I listened to a little bit of that with Michelle Williams and doing the whole thing. It is fucking gold. It's hilarious. Everyone on the internet's talking about it because it's she's like, I'm walking down the street and I saw this guy. And then she starts imitating how Justin Timberlake would say stuff. And it's really risque. I can't say it on here. Check it out, listen to it, but it's hilarious. And to me, I'm like, okay, I want to listen to this now. Brittany, get your story out there. But why is there? I mean, there's a part 2 because there's lots of money coming her way. That's why there's a part 2. She held off for more money, and she's getting that with a part 2 next year. And also, Stallone's getting a part 2 to The Samaritan. So if you watch this on Amazon, The Samaritan is coming back for a part 2 to Amazon, and Stallone's coming back to lead. Yeah, it's a big thing for him. He's coming back for it. It was a huge hit in 2022. Of course, it's about a young boy who is just attacked by some bullies. Stallone comes in as a good Samaritan, and he's a janitor. He comes in, he kicks their ass, and the kid realizes that he's kind of this superhero from 20 years ago that's been hiding out after he had a huge battle with his arch nemesis. And he's like, you're this superhero. And then the whole thing kind of spirals from there. So Stallone's coming back. Amazon's all excited about it. His production company, Balboa Productions, is going to partner with Brandon Aftergood to make this happen. And the original writer's coming back, original director. I think they knew he had a good formula going into it, so they're ready to do some more. And I think it's great. It reminds me, though, a little bit of Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan, but Shyamalan's doing other things. Shyamalan's also doing a project with Josh Hartnett right now and his daughter. This is moving forward. And it actually, Lexi, it sounds pretty good, actually, but it's about, it all takes place at a music festival, at a concert.
Oh, God.
Yeah, get ready for this, right? So they were calling it before, they were calling it Trap. Now they're calling it Good Grades. Universal's doing this. Of course, Universal and M. Night they signed a whole deal for multi-pictures. He's been making everything for Universal right now. It's huge for him. He got a SAG waiver for this production. And it's a psychological thriller at this concert. And his daughter is playing a pop artist. And Josh Hartnett is playing a father attending the concert with his child. Now, of course, that's all they're giving us so far. They've been shooting this very early. But I love Josh Hartnett. M. Night, I think the last one, Knock at the Door, was a big win for him. And I'm hoping he kind of follows suit with that. And the next one is just as good as that. I think that's why he got the Universal deal. It did so well. Keep doing that. Make that happen.
The twist is he's not her father. Hey,
He's probably the pop star's daughter. That's probably the twist at the end, right? That's what's going to happen. Why they're letting M. Night, because Queen, they gave him a huge deal. Apparently because of Knock at the Door, they went nuts. Like, he's doing great. Let's make some more. And so they gave him this opportunity.
The twist that's coming out from Warner Brothers.
It's
the
right?
twist is he got another movie, Queen. That's the twist. He got another movie.
That's the twist. And will there be a twist in the OnlyFans wrestling show coming? That's the next question. But A24 is making an OnlyFans wrestling series. Now you may ask yourself,
I'm okay with this.
What's this mean? Well, yeah, Jacob, you're probably what Kate Jacob's wondering out there. Well, it's pretty much, it's adapted. It's an adapted from a novel. The novel is called Margot's Got Money Troubles. And it takes place about a daughter who her mother was a wrestler, but also a Hooters waitress. And she learns from her mother how to get into a character through her wrestling personas, right? And so she uses that and she starts an OnlyFans page. And then she makes a character based off a wrestling character. And it does so well. She gets like all these followers. Everyone gets compelled to follow her and love her because of this energetic, charismatic
that's not
character.
What I want.
But that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. And A24 is doing it. A24 doing it. They're calling it. They're hoping it's to be a runaway success. They're doing all these projects, bringing all these projects.
I'll watch anything A24.
I want exactly what you said to me: an OnlyFans wrestling show. That's all I want.
Sounds true to life, Queen says. Well, Lexi, you're right, but this is going to be something a little different, and A24 is picking up books and podcasts and making them into something crazy. But, you're talking about laying the smackdown on somebody. I want to talk about Chris Brown for a second, because Chris Brown's back in the news for abuse. Of course he is. Back in the news for abuse.
Great segue.
I heard this, and I was like, okay, well, this guy came forward, Abe Dog came forward, and he claims that he was at a club in the UK called Tape in London, and Chris Brown came up to him, and he said he was under the influence. He was saying he was drunk. The singer grabbed a bottle of Don Julio 1942 and continued to slam it against his head and beat him until he fell over, and then kicked him ruthlessly and stomped him for 30 seconds after that. He says 30 seconds, but apparently the Don Julio bottle didn't break, but smashed him until he got pretty much knocked out. The paramedics came, took him to the hospital. He had lacerations on his head, and he had torn ligaments in his leg, and then he filed a lawsuit for permanent damage and severe emotional distress. Now, Tape, the club, caught the whole thing on tape. So all of it, Tape, thank you so much for catching the whole thing on tape. It's all on there.
First time he's done this in a club.
It's not. I don't know what he's doing.
Women anymore. At least he's beating dudes.
He's beating dudes now. He's beating dudes, and he's going to trial.
Dude, in a club.
But they wanted
garbage.
I wish they would try that on me. Lord Dracula said, "I know, Lexi. It's garbage. It's a lot. We're gonna talk about it in a second. It's as much garbage as
bouncers. Well, this is all going on. That's what I want to know.
Chris Brown's beating their ass too.
Yeah, they probably back the fuck off. Though we don't want to deal with this. They want to deal with this. It's as much bullshit as there's a SAG-AFTRA strike still happening. We have not gotten a deal. We have been working on this for 109. I think it's 108, 109 days. We're almost 110.
Today is 109.
109 days. It's a long time we've been trying to battle the AMPTP. Apparently they're closer. They're working it out. They had Independent Day where they went over the deals today, and they're going to meet hopefully tomorrow. They haven't announced officially, but the idea is to meet tomorrow. The biggest thing has been residuals and AI again. Crabtree came forward and said AI is still a big issue. We're still trying to work that out. On top of that, we talk about the 57 cents per subscriber was going to be the new norm. That's what they were trying to hope for SAG for residuals. They counter-offered. That's a whole thing they're still trying to figure out. There was also the whole thing with how much percentage is going to go up every year for your actual, your actual pay. SAG came out with 11%. AMPTP offered 7%, SAG counter with 9%. So right now we're sitting at 9%. We'll see where it goes from there. And it's a lot of news happening. And I'm not sure if that deal will come this week. I really hope so. I thought over the weekend we'd get it. I really thought we would. Ahoy! Thank you so much for being here, no-named individual, we love you so much. Welcome to the show. But I'm so happy that they're working on this moving forward. That Chris Brown thing is a lot. Before we get into our hot takes, we gotta take 2 seconds for this. This Chris Brown thing, I heard this and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this guy cannot stop, right? He can't stop. Lexi, are you...
Such garbage. He's been garbage since he first came out. He beat Rihanna. Everybody let that go. I'm like, I don't know why they let that go. And then it's
I never let
it just
that go.
keeps going. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. He's been beating people up in clubs. He's been doing this. He's been like hold people at gunpoint. It's like there's nothing new. He had like all that shit in his house, like where he did all that stuff in his house a few years ago. I don't remember what that one was. There was like a huge drug one with him. He was like running guns, wasn't he, at one point? That was like there was a whole thing with that. I don't even remember. Like he's fucking insane. He's insane. He should be fucking locked up. Like he's clearly like
Give me one
problematic and like exactly. He's a problem.
He's got the money. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
He has money because we keep letting him work. We keep giving him opportunity. And it's like, stop giving Chris Brown opportunities. This guy does not deserve opportunities. He didn't deserve opportunities back in like 99 when he started out and he was hitting fucking Rihanna.
I know.
This isn't old news. This guy's been doing shit for 20 years. 20 years of doing fucked up shit, and you just keep getting opportunity and getting opportunity and getting opportunity. Fuck that shit. When does it stop? Like, can he please go to jail for this one?
I know.
Yeah, is it time for him to get some fucking jail time or something? Like, he never gets any convictions. He never gets any, like, anything. He never gets a single degree of punishment.
That's because
nothing.
it's nice.
Nothing happens.
It's
Nothing
nice
happens.
when you have money. That's why. When you
But how
have
do you
money, you're good to go.
He doesn't even, like, I don't even know if he...
people up.
Where does he get the money? Because, like, I can't even think of a song he's put out in years. Like, he's had Bottoms Up was, like, the last thing I could think of that he was involved in. Like, seriously, like, what was the last fucking song from Chris Brown? Genuinely, like, I don't know, like, anything that he's done. Like, it's all collabs and, like, fucking whatever. Like, he's toxic. He's toxic. People don't even really want to work with him anyway. Like, because who knows what he's going to do? He's volatile to work with. Like, working in the studios with him's not fun because he acts up in the studio. He does shit in the studio. Like, he's hard to work with. He's consistently a problem. Like, what? Why are we keeping him around?
Ty in the chat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's privileged celebrity.
That's a lunatic. Yep.
Yeah, that's a lunatic. Privileged celebrity. And the thing is, like, if he gets away with it and keeps getting away with it, then you're right. Then he will keep doing it over and over and over again until someone stops him. But when you get, like, when everyone says it's fine and you get away with it over time, then everything you do, you don't care about the ramifications at all moving forward. You just don't.